episode 99.
99.
One away from the
true.
big 100.
What will we have in store for you?
No telling.
No
No
telling at
telling
all.
what's going to happen in the big 100, but hopefully if things are coming together like we're looking at,
Absolutely.
should be changes galore for TakeOver.
Changes galore as we start anew.
And we got some changes too when it concerns some wrestlers here.
Yes, unfortunately.
In our ringside news here this week, folks, we said, Sting is retiring. Then Sting says, no,
No,
I'm not retiring.
that was all talk.
And at the Hall of Fame, the night before WrestleMania, he hangs up the boots.
Officially retired, so he doesn't want to, but thinks it's time to hang up the boots. It's called, WWE said, hey, we'll make sure you're financially stable, but we don't want to risk you getting any more hurt.
No.
So go ahead and put your boots up. Unless you want to go out to TNA and get chump change and risk being hurt and not being taken care of financially.
Yes.
I'm just saying, he's a smart man in that. But yes, so speaking of, this is a segment of change.
It is.
Because not only has Sting officially retired, but we also unfortunately lost the father of Barry Windham and Kendall Windham, and the father-in-law to Mike Rotunda,
Yep.
and the grandfather to Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Top Rope Reality, we are saddened to let you know the news that WWE Hall of Famer Blackjack Mulligan has passed away this past week.
Yes, I was very upset because, you know, a while back.
They took off from work.
Yeah,
Mike Rotunda,
when they were in Birmingham.
yeah, Mike, Bo, and Bray were all gone. They
Yes.
all went to go spend time.
And you're
right by his
thinking
side.
then it's something
It
going
was
to happen.
over, yeah. But it happened, which it's a. I know this sounds bad, but and I know they would have gave him time off of work, but
Of course. Yes, yes.
ironically enough, they had a whole week off
Yeah.
after Tuesday night, after the whole week of WrestleMania week that ends on Tuesday, that starts that Monday or whatever, it
Right.
goes all the way to Tuesday. They got the rest of the week off before they went into the UK.
Right.
So I guess it worked out.
It does. Things
So-
happen for a reason, they say.
Everything does happen for a reason. So that's it's just another one that he
Another one,
his,
yeah, I
and,
know.
I mean, and here's my thing. He was managed by the great Bobby the Brain Heenan,
Right.
and that man is still holding on. And
Yes.
I mean, he's a tough cookie. I'm telling you right now. Because I could have sworn that he was not going to survive all these people, but you know what? He's still out there. He's still doing like conventions and
I
stuff.
know.
Still
And you look
signing
and you're like, oh,
autographs.
good gracious. I mean, Bobby's, but he's still a kicking out there.
He's
That's a good
still
thing.
doing- yeah.
So,
Again, another thing with change. TNA has been hit with a cease and desist letter over
Yes.
their current character, Crazy Steve, and it says this. Was that a daggone bird attacking
Yes.
us? Wow. The cease and desist came from Ohio independent wrestler Justin Carnes. I have him on my Facebook.
yes.
He wrestled for years under the name Krimson with a K, not Crimson of TNA with a C.
Nope, part of the Dead Wrestling Society.
Yes, and is claiming that TNA is responsible for infringement of certain copyrights that are owned and controlled by Justin Carnes. Carnes' Crimson character is an evil clown. Here's the thing.
Yeah. If he can prove it,
It's white. Now look at it though.
we're going to change it.
The makeup he has is white, a little bit of black around the eyes, and then red coming straight down the face. People are trying to say, and I reposted it because people are trying to say, oh, Crazy Steve's always done that. No. He had the clown makeup, like square makeup here, the old school, the makeup that they would wear with the bull fighting, the bull riding.
Yes.
He
Rodeo clowns,
yes, he changed it when they started doing the decay thing, and so
Now they got the winner.
the exact gimmick, the exact makeup is exactly how Justin Carnes wore his makeup, and then on top of that, the
And
Dead
movements and
Wrestling,
stuff, yeah,
the Dead Wrestling Society is almost identical to TNA's The Decay. So they got hit with both those.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens on that front in the coming weeks.
He may come back, be a whole other gimmick without makeup on at all, and the girl may be gone, and Abyss may just be doing his own thing again.
But they're the tag team champions.
Well, every tag team, I guess it's like their intercontinental title for them because it's cursed. Because the Wolves have it, and they get hurt
Twice. They got hurt twice
Each
in the
time
tag team
they
champions.
had the tag team titles, they got hurt. And then Beer Money has it, and Robert Roode says, "See you later."
I know I want out of my contract. It's not like my contract's ending. I want out of my contract.
Yes, he's like, I'm done. Free agent. And then now we have this with their tag team champions, and there may be a cease and desist. And they said that TNA has said, hey, we have received a cease and desist, but it's in our legal department's hands. Yeah. But even people like Davey Richards are apparently, from what I've been told, what I've been reading from Justin Carnes' Facebook, is that he's being attacked on Twitter by different TNA wrestlers like Davey Richards. He said if there was nothing to the cease and desist order, why would you make a big deal out of it?
Yeah, don't attack somebody. That just gives them more ammo. That don't just let
dead dogs lie, pretty much.
Let his team, legal team, deal with TNA's legal team, and then see what comes out in the wash. Either they're going to say, yes, we kind of infringed on it. We're sorry. We're going to change a little bit.
Change it up a little bit, yeah.
Or no, there's no case there. You're seeing things you want to see.
Right.
But speaking of Bobby Roode, since you probably want to go, that was very shocking. That was one of the most shocking things at TakeOver.
Yes.
Was Bobby Roode was sitting in the audience, and they showed him on camera and made a point to let you know that he was there.
Yep.
I love it.
They're saying that somebody said he had already been signed a week earlier, but he is saying in another interview that is not the case, and that he's close to being signed, but he doesn't want to jinx anything, so he has not been signed yet, and somebody jumped the gun on that one.
Which is good, yeah. Don't jinx anything.
Also,
get all the T's crossed, the I's dotted, and then he'll debut in NXT.
Also, he has officially signed Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano to NXT deals, and those deals will not consist of the same deals of like Sami Zayn's, Samoa Joe's, Finn Balor's.
Right.
They're in Austin Aries where they're actually there at the Performance Center. They live in Orlando, and they go to all the different live events that they do. The two of them are signed to a traveling deal with them where they cannot do indie shows anymore, but they are not required to work out at the Performance Center and not required to do the classes. And all they got to do is go to the different live events and go to the different, NXT tapings. That's not a bad gig.
Nope.
Because it still gives them an opportunity to eventually go up to the main roster. If you're signed to a deal, you're being looked at. So that's good news.
Yes.
Very good news. And this, I did not realize this. I guess this just came out in the next.
This was at the Hall of Fame. It was around the Hall of Fame time when this news came out, which is very surprising.
Well, all that news pops up so often, and then you lose track of it. Yes. I didn't see it, but they're saying Beth Phoenix and Edge are expecting their second child. I guess when you have nothing to do and you live up in the mountains,
you got something to do.
You got a lot to do. You know what I'm saying?
There's no TV up there in the mountains.
There you go. Satellite goes out and you got nothing.
This is very surprising. I saw this just the other day about Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor star possibly in the Global Cruiserweight Series, Cedric Alexander, because he does have a contract with Ring of Honor.
He's on a paper appearance.
He can do what he wants to, and hey, that's what I love. Yes, have somebody who is in Ring of Honor show up in the tournament.
There you go.
And then people.
And then Ring of Honor can say, hey, since you're going to be doing that, we don't want you to come back here. Or, hey, when you get done doing that, we'll sign you to an exclusive contract because you're in high demand. I mean...
Or will NXT sign him to it?
Exactly. Because with the Global Series, that's the interesting thing. They don't have to be signed to NXT deals. They're just signed to do just that tournament, and they go back to do whatever they want.
If they're not signed exclusively for somebody else like Lucha Underground or TNA or something like that, because they got a contract with Evolve, so they're set there. You work for Evolve, you still can be in the tournament, so and back and forth, and they share talent, so that's a good thing.
But did you just bring up Lucha Underground?
I did.
Well, since you brought up Lucha Underground, we're going to skip one and go to this one because
we'll come back to that one.
Yes, we will, because MVP says his contract with Lucha Underground has been terminated. MVP said it was his fault because he had just announced it at WrestleMania. Or however you say that guy's name, that rapper dude.
Yeah.
W-A-L-E.
Like Whalemania.
Whalemania, whatever it is. Yes. But he announced there that he had signed with Lucha Underground. But apparently, he violated terms of his deal by interviewing Lucha Underground cast members for his podcast. About doing the interviews, he breached a non-disclosure agreement included in his contract. That part is very odd to me. Why would you want your talent to go out there and do interviews?
I don't understand why.
Especially when they're doing interviews with fellow talent from the same company. Yeah. So obviously you're going to toe the company line and, talk about the right things.
That's very
Sound like
weird.
someone was just looking for a reason. I don't know. That seems very.
I thought it was good. That was good for MVP and good for Lucha.
Yes.
Underground.
Very much so. But
smoke now, so I guess it will go to Japan or Ring of Honor or whatever.
Right. Back to Global Cruiserweight Series news.
Another name. Yes.
Another name revealed. We saw him live about 2 years ago.
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
Something like that at the WrestleMania of the Gulf Coast, which is coming up very soon. I believe in June this year.
Yeah.
And the person that's going to be in the Global Cruiserweight tournament is LinceDorado. So I'm very excited about that because he did a very good job of that match
and
against
Lucha.
Lucha.
Did we talk about this last week about Tessa?
You might have.
But
But
you
you
know
know
what? Say it again. Because I had somebody else. Because you know what we saw? We saw Lindsay Dorado. I'll get out in a minute. And we also saw and talked to and interviewed our biggest interviewer.
Our biggest interview, our most popular video by far.
And now the girl is gonna be on NXT.
So
on their April 13th.
Even though we had no part in it, I want to say yay for us.
Yes, congratulations to Tessa.
And yay for us for getting an early interview. Because from what she had told me, she was in the business for less than a year when we interviewed her.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
She moved right on up in there.
And maybe some other people we know may be moving right on up there too.
That is true. We'll get to that later on at another date. But also they're talking about her boyfriend, Trevor Mann, I believe is his name.
Could be right.
Is Ricochet.
Oh yeah, if that's Ricochet, they've also looking at him too. Yes.
They're saying that Ricochet is. I'll have to look up, make sure that was his real name. But Ricochet, they're saying, is no longer taking independent bookings after June. So does that mean that Lucha Underground is going to want to do an exclusive contract with him, or is he, since he's now the former champion at Lucha Underground, is he now exploring other options? Because we heard he had a 10-year contract.
Yeah, why do you do a 10-year when you're not even sure you could be around another year? How do you 10 years?
So that's kind of weird. I hope that was like a mistake.
Yeah.
And maybe it meant 1 year and somebody clicked the 0.
Or 10 and somebody said it's 2 and somebody said 10. Yeah.
Somebody, I think, screwed up on that because they're saying that he's not taking any more bookings after June, and he just lost the tag team titles with Matt Sydal in Japan, the junior tag team titles.
Open all the doors. Get all those doors open where you can go right through that main door.
Right. But moving on from all that news, we have TakeOver Dallas results. April the 1st, a huge week last week with WrestleMania weekend.
TakeOver does it again.
Yes, April 1st, 2016. We thought this was going to be on the pay-per-view, but it was not. It was a dark match, but what it was filmed for NXT television.
Well, they were promoting it for the special event, but then it got pushed. I guess time and stuff. But
exactly.
That's fine.
But it went on to, if you watched NXT, which if you watched NXT, the whole show was nothing but just TakeOver Dallas results.
Yeah, it was.
And it was just one match. And that was Apollo Crews beating the Drifter, Elias Sampson.
Yes, and then he shows up on, and he's now on Raw.
He is on Raw.
Good for Apollo Crews.
Right, and I kind of hope that, I know that Neville has gone to the main roster, and he's come back to do some stuff in NXT every now and then. But, I really kind of hope that doesn't happen with everybody.
No.
Apollo Crews on the main roster, Enzo and Cass, the Vaudevillains, Sami Zayn, those guys need to focus on the main roster. They need to focus on getting pushed. They need to focus on building the characters there now. And let's get some new talent going in NXT. Let's explore some new people. And, I think that's what they're doing. They're just getting more room in there for new folks.
Well, they got some new ones here.
And then the NXT Tag Team Championships, the Revival, the Tag Team Champions, took on the American Alpha in my opinion, would have to be the runner-up for the match of the night.
Yes, it was, and one of the best tag matches I've seen in a long time.
Yes, and American Alpha pulled out the win. I thought they were calling it too much with their video package, saying
they kept calling
they've lost so many times with amateur wrestling and it won't happen again. You never call it, but this time it was not a jinx because American Alpha are now your new NXT Tag Team Champions.
And then we had Austin Aries take on Baron Corbin.
A little bit of a slower paced match coming off of that tag team match, and it kind of felt like they were just kind of,
Baron Corbin had the more power than Austin Aries.
Kind of felt like they were just filling each other out a little bit, and it wasn't as much as Aries can do with his aerial assault But, I think they're just letting that build.
Yes. But Austin Aries, which we figured he would, since it's his debut match, would pick up the victory, and he did.
He did. And then, honestly, this was the match of the night. Absolutely the match of the night. That's why if not, the tag team match would have been the match of the night if this match was not on there. Sami Zayn took on the debuting Shinsuke, that's good enough for me, Nakamura.
Yes.
And it, by far, may be the match of the year. Not even the match of the night.
It has to be right up there to be a match of the year candidate right now. Because that match, it flowed so well. I mean, they were back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, just stood there punching each other and just back and forth.
There was a time in the match where you think, okay, Nakamura's debut match he should win, but you still had a feeling that maybe Sami Zayn was going to let Sami Zayn win.
Yeah.
There was no clue there. No
clue at all, but in the debut matchup, Nakamura did get the win against Sami Zayn, and I'm telling you, it was a hard-fought match. And, honestly, if I'm to go back and watch any events on the network, this would be the one I would watch for sure.
Oh, yes, because it flowed. 2.5 hours, what it was, it just...
It was later in the evening, though.
It was.
But it was, I guess because of access and everything kind of going on. But it worked out great, though. It was a great show, and we flowed right into the NXT Women's Championship match.
Which is another great one. The women are definitely picking up their game.
Yes.
As we had the women's champion, Bayley, taking on Asuka. And what kind of a shock. Kind of said this was going. You think Bayley would retain, but Bayley passed out as Asuka became the new NXT Women's Champion, which, hey, doesn't hurt Bayley. Doesn't hurt Bayley, and definitely doesn't hurt the women's division. Sometimes you get a women's champion and then you're like, oh my goodness gracious. But no, Asuka.
Like the possibility of Eva Marie.
Yeah, well, she disposed of Eva Marie already, so. But yeah, Asuka should be a fairly good champion until she gets brought up to the main roster.
And with Bayley not having the belt, how long until she comes up to the main roster?
I think like we talked about during the show that she'll get her one title rematch, and then after that, wouldn't surprise me if she's not up there.
I'd say by SummerSlam would be nice.
Yeah.
Because you don't want everybody to debut so early.
I don't want everybody,
and you had 3 in a row, on the main roster. You had Baron Corbin WrestleMania. You had Enzo and Cass. Right, sorry. On Raw. And then you had the Vaudevillains on SmackDown. So you had boom, boom, boom.
Yes. So now and Apollo on Raw. So you had 3 on Raw.
That is true. So you want to, you want to space it out. So Bayley, to get that spotlight, needs to wait till I think SummerSlam. I think that'll be good.
And now we have the main event, which was the NXT Championship. As your champion Finn Balor took on Samoa Joe.
And that man,
number 2. This was the second match for them.
That man bled like a stud pig.
And that's what pissed all people off. But it's the time that WWE is in. They don't want you to bleed. They pull out the gloves. They stop the matches.
Right.
But it hurt the match a little bit, but it didn't. When they were going at it, it was balls to the wall.
Oh, absolutely.
And after the interview that Finn had, he made Joe look good. Even though Joe lost, Finn retained the title. Barely.
I really thought Joe was going to win it.
I did too. With all the talk of the Bullet Club and everything, and then Finn coming up and making the Battle Club, we thought this was it. This was Joe's time to take the title.
Absolutely.
But Finn retained, and then after I said he was talking the back, and he really pushed Joe over. He said, I didn't beat Joe, I survived.
Right.
So that makes Joe look good.
It does. But TakeOver Dallas, in my opinion, was the best event of the weekend. But we also have WrestleMania 32 results to go over.
Yes.
And you start out with the U.S. Championship match on the pre-show, and in predictable fashion, the little guy wins, and Kalisto retains his championship against the big guy, Ryback.
It's in a crowd that was flowing into the
about 50
Cherry World. It was so you kind of figure that. You had the end of another pre-show match. You had the 10 Divas, or Women Now, tag team match. Yes. Brie Bella, Alicia Fox, Paige, Natalya, and Eva Marie, why she with them, has no clue. They picked up the victory over Lana, Tamina, Naomi, Summer Rae, and Emma. And that was pretty much Brie's last match for a while.
Yes, and they gave her, they put her up on her shoulder and all that kind of stuff.
Hadn't made the official announcement, but,
I think they're going to wait for Total Divas to catch up with Raw, because, they're always way ahead.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what they're waiting on.
And I'd put her back in the summertime, probably.
Yeah. to make the official announcement. But the Intercontinental, I jumped ahead.
You jumped ahead. The final pre-show match.
The final pre-show match, yes, because you had, I guess, was it 2 on one thing and 1 on the other thing?
Yes, because it was supposed to be 2 and 2, and they said, no, we're going to move 1, so they moved 1.
So this was all by itself, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think so, yeah. The Dudley Boys took on the Usos, and the Usos beat the Dudleys.
Yeah, put them through tables.
Put them through tables, and that got you your Raw match the next night, and
Well,
the tables match, which I thought they were going to wait till Extreme Rules, but you said it's not Extreme Rules now, it's Payback now after WrestleMania. Right. So they moved the pay-per-views around, which makes sense after the fact of after that match of why they went ahead and did the tables match, and they're done with
funny,
the Usos.
the timekeeper messed up too.
Oh, Dudley's was big.
They were pissed. They were pissed because as soon as the Usos went through the table by themselves.
You cannot call the match.
He rang the bell. He's like, "What are you doing, dummy?" Then they put him through the table.
You have to be thrown through in a tables match. If they move out of the way and you fall through the table, you did it to yourself.
Yes.
They have to forcibly put you through a table, and that's how you win. Yeah, Bubba Ray he almost got in trouble for cussing. I thought he was about to start cussing that man.
But then we start off with the big match, and this is a good one to start off with. It's for the Intercontinental title ladder match, as you had the champion Kevin Owens take on Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, Stardust, Zack Ryder, and Sin Cara.
This was the shocker of the night.
They start off with a boom, bang, bang, boom, and your winner and new Intercontinental champion, no, not Sami, not Dolph, not Miz, not Stardust, not Sin Cara, Zack Ryder became your new Intercontinental champion, and the people loved it.
They did.
You just put that cowboy hat back on now.
But you know, the funny thing was somebody put on the Cult of Kayfabe. There you go, shout out. Yes. Emma and Zack Ryder standing next to him. He had his new outfit thing, his little thing he had, you know, and she had her outfit with the sunglasses and the gloves, and they're standing side by side, I guess, at a photo shoot thing. And somebody said, the Stars of Tomorrow. I'm like, Zack Ryder's been there for like 10 years.
He's a former United States champion.
He's been there 10 years. That's not the Star of Tomorrow. What in the world? Maybe Emma. You know, they haven't been there as long. But then we got AJ versus Jericho number 4. And this one, again, I mean, they hit shocker after shocker.
Yes.
Because I thought AJ was going to get his WrestleMania moment, but apparently if you come from TNA or WCW, you're screwed.
Yes, you don't get your WrestleMania moment.
At least not the first one.
Not the first one.
And because Sting never got a second
But
one.
it does build on what Jericho had to say.
It works, but Jericho beat AJ Styles.
Because he knows what everybody says. And he said he did. Yeah, he said, I buried him. I buried him. I'll bury everybody, which is good makes a great heel.
It does. It does. It makes them hate him.
Up next was a it was a handicap match.
Supposed to be. They never gave us a reason why.
They never said a reason, and then it became a 6-man tag as New Day took on the League of Nations. And it was not for the tag team titles. Everybody kept on, well, it was tag team titles.
Nope.
They're just holding the belts because of the tag team champions.
They are the tag team.
But the League of Nations, who we thought would gonna win because it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. League of Nations picked up the win. Then we had Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and Stone Cold Steve Austin take care of the League of Nations. Do a little dancing.
Because Wade Barrett opened his big trap.
That's right. So they don't know 3 people who
could beat this group, but just like 4 people standing there, but
yes.
Whatever. Next you had, which I thought was, I was like, wow, that's kind of early, but because we just kept waiting on the Andre Battle Royal,
Yes.
You gonna keep waiting, guys, because we had the no holds barred street fight, and to me, it was one of the more disappointing matches of the night.
It was.
There wasn't really much of a street fight situation going on.
Nope.
Not many weapons. It wasn't really brutal, but Brock Lesnar pulled out the win against Dean Ambrose.
Yes. They have 5 on the chairs.
But I would have to say that was the least favorite match of the night.
Because definitely Dean needed the win more than Brock.
He did.
Up next was one of the best matches of the night. It was the WWE Divas, women's triple threat match.
During the pre-show, Lita announced that the Divas title was going away, retiring it tonight. Charlotte would be the last Divas champion, and the winner of the triple threat would become the brand new WWE Women's Champion, which was kind of odd that she said they'll be the first ever WWE Women's Champion, which in fact is not true, because the women's title before it was ever retired was under the WWE umbrella, not the WWF umbrella. Yeah, well, somebody actually posted that on the internet and said, "Did Lita forget about her own history?"
Yeah.
Because she was a WWE Women's Champion.
Maybe she thought she was an F woman, so.
Well, we know she's an F woman.
Well, we had the champion, Charlotte, or we, I guess it was all up for grabs, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, Charlotte taking on Sasha, taking on Becky Lynch.
There was no champion's advantage going into it,
Really?
really.
Champion. Yeah, whoever wins becomes the new women's champion,
Right.
and your winner and new women's champion, Charlotte.
Yeah,
So she took care of the divas and took off with the women's.
A lot of people were very upset about that.
They were. Sasha, we was thinking again, I think Sasha was going.
I was very upset. Very, very upset.
Up next was the Hell in the Cell, Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. If Shane wins, he wins control of Raw. If Undertaker loses, this will be his last WrestleMania.
Not his last match, his last WrestleMania.
Last WrestleMania, yes.
But that meant nothing because, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, after a huge... And you told me, you said, the big move he does is going to either end it for him or it's going to win it for him.
Yep.
And ladies and gentlemen, it ended for him because Shane McMahon went to the top of the Hell in the Cell, and he went to go do an elbow drop to Undertaker going through the table, and instead Undertaker moved, and Shane went through the table, and Undertaker ended up bringing him back into the ring and tombstoning him, and he won the match. But then it made no sense because the next night on Raw, Shane got to run Raw anyway, and then I'm hearing reports that they're thinking about having Shane still run Raw and have the Authority run SmackDown. I'm like, if he lost the opportunity, send Shane to SmackDown. Because if you lost...
Again, it's the WWE writing. So.
But if you lost, you don't get to gain that same thing. I mean, that's what you lost. You lost that opportunity.
Hey, this goes back to the logic of you don't like...
What the world? You're attacked!
This goes back to the same logic of you don't like somebody, but you're still going to give them a title shot.
Right.
Why would you even give Roman Reigns a shot at winning the championship? Indie-cat. See what you did? Told you you're going to be in trouble.
Nice. Then we had the Andre the Giant Memorial
Then
Battle
yes,
Royal.
it finally showed up, yes.
We're like, wow. We thought maybe they were going to run out of time because, ladies and gentlemen, they were supposed to have because something happened here. We said it was a 4-hour event. That's what it was supposed to be. That sucker was 5 hours.
Yeah, there was going 2-hour pre-show, 4-hour event, 1-hour post-show.
They added the post-show into the pay-per-view.
Yes.
And I guess the cable providers were told about it. Either that or they lost a lot of money because the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, the winner was the Dark Horse in it. He didn't get his own music to come out because, ladies and gentlemen, we had the Big Show come out to music. Kane came out to music.
Shaquille
O'Neal came out to music, ladies and gentlemen. And was there anybody else?
Just 5 of them, yeah. Wow.
Who was another surprise person? Oh, DDP. DDP.
It's me.
I kind of thought that Tatanka should have got his own music. He was the only other legend in the match.
He was already in there, yeah.
He was already in there with the rest of them. But ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Baron Corbin.
So you lose Friday to Austin Aries, you win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Not a bad weekend.
And now you're on Raw.
Not a bad weekend, you know.
An extra match added that no one knew about, talking,
so
nothing, was The Rock taking on Eric Rowan. Good for Eric Rowan, but
bad for the fact that there's 6 seconds.
Yes, and also we had John Cena come back, and we had a little showdown between the Wyatts.
Yes, because The Rock came in there just to talk about, we hit an attendance record, which, you know, they fudged the numbers again. But anyway, they fudged the numbers when it was 93,000, whatever it was. But anyway.
Yes.
But The Rock said I don't think he said the number. He just said,
he did,
broke a record.
1,736.
He did say it? But anyway, so they broke a record, blah, blah, blah. And then Bray Wyatt and all of them come out. And then John Cena comes out to help him, fend him off after he beats Eric Rowan in 6 seconds. So it's kind of weird, but, you know, it is what it is. And then we were like, wow, the pay-per-view's over. There's no more time. They've canceled the main event. And then look, there's a whole hour right there. That's crazy.
It is.
Because the main event was the WWE World Title match. Triple H, the reigning and defending World Champion, taking on Roman Reigns. And
just like today's Sunday, Roman Reigns is your winner. Which, we never
as long
shock
as
on that, huh?
every day ends in the word day.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
That was just as predictable as this. Because Roman Reigns won. The only cool thing that came out of that match was the deadgum entrance for Triple H. Mm-hmm. And the Beyond Thunderdome is what they're saying that was deprived from. So that was pretty interesting.
That was 17, 17 or 11 different NXT wrestlers.
There was a lot of them.
It
Even
was.
referees.
Yeah, referee.
There are 3 referees that they used down there. They were in there. Finn Balor was one of them, they said.
Enzo was one.
Yeah. They had this short one, Chad Gable. They didn't use Jason Jordan or Big Cass. I guess they didn't want nobody being taller than Triple H.
Yeah. It stuck out.
Exactly. Because they all looked around the same height.
Yeah.
So I guess they had a height requirement for that one thing right there. But and I didn't know you were going to go over this. That's cool. The 2016 WrestleCon Super Show results from April the 2nd, 2016.
In the Dallas area, wasn't it?
It was. It's every year.
It
WrestleCon's at the Dallas area. They do a convention so that that you can get signed autographs from all these people, and then they do a super show, kind of like WrestleCade, but it's WrestleMania weekend.
Of course.
Your first match, Pentagon Jr. defeated Sami Callihan. I'll let you have the weird names.
Sami Callihan was over there. We had Marty Scurll.
Say good luck with it.
Defeat Will Ospreay to retain the Progress Championship. One of those two is going to be in the
you never know.
Global Cruiserweight
The
tournament.
third match was Chuck Taylor, not the shoes, the wrestler, and Colt Cabana, who has just returned to Ring of Honor. Very interesting. He said, "Let bygones be bygones," and he said, "I got to, put this out to pasture." And plus, his arch nemesis, Jim Cornette's not there anymore anyway. And they defeated.
It doesn't hurt him or Ring of Honor. That's a good fit.
That's true. Jake Manning, right?
Yep.
And Zane Riley.
Up next, our girl Tessa Blanchard with her daddy Tully Blanchard defeated Crazy Mary Dobson.
Both of those women have now been on NXT.
They have. I remember Crazy Mary.
Yeah.
She was something else though.
She was something else, yes. The 5th match, Aerostar, Drago, and Octagon Jr. I'm about to be attacked from over here too. Defeated Bestia, 666, Jack Evans, Jack Evans, and Tigre Uno.
That's a TNA guy, isn't it?
That is a TNA guy.
X Division champion or something.
He's still with the company, ain't he?
I guess.
They're all leaving.
Up next, we had Team Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett, Brian Myers, Jessica Havoc, Luke Hawk, and Sanjay Dutt.
A lot of people.
Defeat Team Ryan, Joey Ryan, Candice LeRae, Matt Stryker, Shane Strickland, and Tommy Dreamer.
I met him the other week.
Tommy gets around.
And he's naked on the network. That's weird.
Also getting beat up by Bailey.
That was fun.
Not naked,
Whoa.
He's eating when he's getting
Wait,
eating.
is she naked?
He's eating when he's getting beat up by Bailey like normal.
The 7th match, Matt Hardy with Ruby defeated. That's weird.
That is a weird one.
I didn't read that ahead of time. Defeated Lance Storm with Missy Hyatt.
Wow, that's pulling some out of the closet there.
Yeah, because she was probably in the closet doing something with somebody.
Up next was your 8th match. That's a pretty good card so far.
Yes,
Matt Sydal, Rey Mysterio, and Ricochet. There's your dude.
That's right.
Defeated Brian Cage, Chris Hero, and Zach Sabre Jr., who is also going to be in the Cruiser. Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty good to be teaming up with Rey Mysterio.
Booyaka.
6 more. And then the main event, we have a 6-way Monsters Ball match with Jeff Hardy defeating the Monster Ball creator himself, Abyss, Andrew Everett, A.R. Fox, Pentagon Jr., who was in the opening match, so that's a little weird, and Trevor Lee. Almost every one of those are TNA guys except for Pentagon Jr. and A.R. Fox.
That is true.
That is true.
And they let Jeff Hardy win.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Well, that is it for part 1. Come on back to part 2 when we start on our pay-per-view review Starrcade 83, 84, 85, and 86.
So let's hope you like WCW pay-per-views just as much as you liked all the WWE pay-per-views.
We will. This will be the test. Here's the test here, folks.
The test of time.
And this will just depend if we go to Super Brawls or anything like that.
That's true.
So, all right, come on back right here to Top Row Round. Mike Hogan.
I'm just a guy.
And remember, we say yes to being Hot Rod. Okay.
By your professionals.
Are you Jay Lethal gear?
No.
Real water.